Insightful quotes by Little Richard, the legendary musician. Little Richard, American musician, singer, and songwriter, 1932 to 2020. Don't forget subscribe. Greed has taken the whole universe, and nobody is worried about their soul. Elvis may be the king of rock and roll, but I am the queen. I did what I felt, and I felt what I did, at all costs. I thank God for making me a man. Plus, I love Tanya Tucker, and I love country music. I was always my own person. I think my legacy should be that when I started in show business, there wasn't no such thing as rock and roll. When I started with Tutti Frutti, that's when rock really started rocking. I've never seen the devil create music. God is omnipotent, He is omniscient, and He is ever present. And I think a woman should find it a joy to be female, because God made both male and female. I am the architect of rock and roll. I have to be a fan of all its forms. When you sit down and think about what rock and roll music really is, then you have to change that question. Played up tempo, you call it rock and roll. At a regular tempo, you call it rhythm and blues. And I'd like to give my love to everybody and let them know that the grass may look greener on the other side, but believe me, it's just as hard to cut. But I was singing loud, and most singers weren't singing loud. But I'm a rock and roll singer. That's my livelihood, my occupation. But when I went on the stage to do a show, I would put on makeup because I felt that it enhanced my act. It drew attention to what I was doing. God gives us the ability, but rock and roll was created by men. I also think that what's wrong with all of us is that we don't show enough love toward each other. I don't think a woman has to act like a man to show that she has strength. I just want the world to know that God is present, that He's alive forevermore. Now they have banging guitar and no bass and call it rock, but that's not what I call rock. To me, true rock and roll has a lot of bottom in it. I look back on my life, coming out of Macon, Georgia. I never thought I'd be a superstar, a living legend. I never heard of no rock and roll in my life. A lot of people call me the architect of rock and roll. I don't call myself that, but I believe it's true. People called rock and roll African music. They called it voodoo music. They said that it would drive the kids insane. They said that it was just a flash in the pan, the same thing that they always used to say about hip-hop. I think they saw me as something like a deliverer, a way out. My means of expression, my music, was a way in which a lot of people wished they could express themselves and couldn't. It was a way out of poverty. It was a way to success. It was a way to education. And it was a way to a brighter day for me. Like, my mother would have company over, and I would sing so they'd pay attention to me. And I don't get down on nobody else for doing whatever else they do, to each his own. I also like the banging piano, that old good time piano. Thanks for watching. Don't forget subscribe.